Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'll be talking about all my shoes that I have and what I use them for and why I actually have almost 15 pairs of running shoes. Let's go. Alright, so we're going to start out with my training collection. I have 3 daily trainers, 2 workout shoes, and a couple of others. So first off, I have the Brooks Glycerin 19, an old but quite reliable trainer. It was originally released in 2021. It weighs 345 grams with a midsole drop of 10 millimeters. It is a great, very comfortable trainer that I have worn my entire high school career for a little bit over a year. Sadly, it is discontinued, so you cannot buy it. So this is probably the last pair that I will get to run in. Next up, I have Nike Pegasus 40. I just recently got these when I attended the Bowerman training camp, and they are a great, very basic trainer to just do easy runs in. They weigh 315 grams, significantly lighter than these, but also a lot less comfortable, and also have 10 millimeters of drop. They are discontinued, but it's really easy to find them for $130 or less on many other sites. Now, next, I have the Nike Vomeros. These I also got on my trip to the Bowerman training camp. They are a super duper comfortable trainer with Nike Zoom X foam on the top and Nike React X foam on the bottom, making them very good for recovery runs and just runs where you just want to be comfortable, but you also want a bit of support that you get from the React X foam on the bottom. These shoes weigh 320 grams with 10 millimeters of drop and come in at a price of $160. This is not too bad, especially for what you get, and they're actually quite light in comparison to my Glycerins, which are just as comfortable. Our next shoe is the first one of my 2 workout shoes. This is the Brooks Hyperion Tempo, a light and very speedy shoe that I love to use for my short rep workouts. It weighs 231 grams and has a midsole drop of just 8 millimeters. It's a phenomenal shoe with a very low stack height. It is also relatively cheap, coming in at just $150. And it's just a great shoe to wear for those workouts. However, it is not very stable and not super supportive, so I don't like to wear it for longer than about 5 to 7 miles. My second workout shoe is the Nike Streakfly, a low profile Nike training shoe that is perfect for those short reps, similar to the Brooks Hyperion Tempo. It is much lighter, coming in at 192 grams in my size, and has just 6 millimeters of drop. It is much like the Brooks Hyperion Tempo, but it is more reactive and much faster, as it has the Nike Zoom X foam, and even though it is a lot better, it is also a bit more expensive, as to be expected, as it comes in at a price of $170 in comparison to the $150 you get from the Hyperion Tempos. Next, we have a couple of incidental shoes that I use for other stuff because they have different purposes. So first up, we have the Brooks Hyperion Max, a well-cushioned and quite stiff shoe that I love to use to run my long runs, as it just gives me that extra pop when I'm doing like some marathon pace. And it just doesn't feel too slow, and it keeps me going even when I'm at mile 10, 11, and 12. It's just a great shoe. It weighs 239 grams, which is quite light, and only has 8 millimeters of drop, which is not horrible for a shoe with this stack height. It only costs $170, which means that it's not that bad. The bank getting a pair of these, especially because I do a lot of miles on them, so you do need to replace them relatively frequently. The only downside I kind of feel is they are not quite as stable as my regular training shoes, but I still love wearing them for the long runs because they just give me that extra snap. Next, I have my one and only pair of trail shoes, the Nike Terra Kiger 7. These are rather old running shoes, but I love them because they're light and responsive trail shoes. These weigh 323 grams, which actually isn't that bad. It's about the same as most road trainers, which is pretty good for a trail shoe. It's also quite low to the ground and only has 4 millimeters of drop, which makes it quite stable on rocky terrain. And even though this shoe is discontinued, I still love it and I love wearing it for my trail runs. And now we are on to the arguably more interesting section of my running shoe collection, the race day shoes. So starting us off is my one pair of road racing shoes, arguably the most popular carbon-plated super shoe ever, the Nike Vaporfly. This shoe is a phenomenal shoe for road racing, the 5K to the marathon. Coming in at just 217 grams, it is lighter than some spikes. And its extremely fluid design and amazing upper make it just a phenomenal shoe to wear for any distance of road race. It is a great shoe, but it does come in at a very hefty price of $260. It has 8 millimeters of drop, which is pretty average for a shoe of its caliber, and it doesn't cause a lot of concerns. This shoe is packed with Nike's best foam, ZoomX foam, making it a phenomenal shoe and giving it great efficiency. Now we go on to my spike collection. So my first track spike is the Nike Victory 2. Now these are actually the old Nike Victory 2s that Nike just recently came out with, the newer Nike Victory 2s. These were originally released in 2011 or 12 or something. Anyways, they're really old, but I love them for short races and steeplechase. They got the hole, they're extremely breathable, and they're the lightest shoe I think I've ever worn, coming at just 134 grams. This shoe is discontinued, obviously, but you can buy it on like eBay for super duper cheap. It also has no drop basically, and is a very, very simple spike that was created a while ago and is just kind of reliable. I do have another colorway of it because, you know, they made a bunch of colorways because this is Nike. And so I have multiple colors because they're really cheap and they're just fun to run in. Now, moving on to probably the most famous spike that has ever been made, the Nike Dragonfly. This spike is just amazing. I love wearing this for every race from 800 meters up to 5K on the track and even 5K cross country. It's just a great shoe. With 2 millimeters of drop, it actually has more drop than some other spikes, but it is unparalleled with its P-Bax plate, making it extremely stiff and only weighing 162 grams, which is relatively light compared to some prior or current carbon-plated spikes. Now, this spike, like many Nike shoes, is quite expensive compared to other companies, but it is extremely good. So sometimes that $160 price tag can be justified for the times you'll get on the track. Now, my third and final track spike is the New Balance FuelCell SuperComp LDX. This shoe is crazy. It is super high stack and extremely stiff, making it an extremely efficient spike for races from 3K to 10K, including the steeplechase. It's also super light and extremely breathable. Coming in at 178 grams, it is quite light. This spike does cost $160, like the Dragonfly, but it is so damn efficient that it is an amazing shoe to run in. The only downside I would say is it has non-removable titanium spikes, but I might even say this makes this shoe more efficient even though you can't replace the spikes. It is just an amazing shoe to run in and so damn squishy. This shoe is great now, but it will not be allowed on the world stage this October, as World Athletics is changing the rules for stack height, as this has more than 20 millimeters of heel stack. But that's fine because I don't think the rules are going to change for high schoolers, so I will probably still be wearing this next track season. Now, my final spike is the Brooks Mach 18. This is an oldie but a goodie when it comes to cross-country spikes. It is very simple and probably the best Brooks cross-country spike ever. It was made mostly for high school cross-country runners, so it was never really designed for the professionals to wear. It weighs 166 grams, which is actually crazy for a cross-country spike. That is just slightly more than the Nike Dragonfly.
That's crazy.
And it's a phenomenal shoe with a lot of grip and 5 spikes. It is sadly discontinued though, as it was made in like 2018. But you can probably find it other places, and it was originally sold for $100. But it's still a great shoe and it's super duper efficient for cross country. Alright, thank you for watching this video about all my shoes and what I use them for. I hope you enjoyed, and please consider subscribing and watching some of my other videos. Now, I'm just wondering, do you think I need all these shoes? Tell me in the comments below. Bye!